Hello, thank you for joining us once again for the next webinar in our What's New series. In today's webinar, we'll cover some of the newest features in Microsoft 365 that you can implement in your business, as well as covering some brand new insights into the future that give us a bit of an idea of where Microsoft is headed over the next year or so. Don't feel like you need to take notes or take it all in straight away, as we'll be sending out a recording of the webinar and a fact sheet later today. Also, if you have any questions, please do feel free to drop those into the Q&A box at the side at any time. There will be a dedicated time for questions at the end of the webinar, but I will do my best to keep an eye on that box as well as we go along, just so I can answer any questions that might be relevant to the topic we're discussing at that point. So let's take a look at the agenda that we'll be looking at today. We'll be starting off by looking at one-click instant polls in Teams meetings. Then we'll be looking at a new update that allows you to manage your chat notifications more effectively. There are simplified sharing options for OneDrive and SharePoint that we'll be covering. Faster file sharing in Outlook emails with inline search. And giving you something to do over your Christmas holidays, if you're that way inclined. Get a way to get a fresh start for 2023 with new chat deletion options in Teams. Then we'll be looking at the Bedrock Security Review workshop before wrapping up by letting you know what's coming up in the new year. So let's start with a welcome. It's good to see so many people back again. Some names that we see time and time again. Really good to have you with us. But there's also a few people that are brand new. So I wanted to start with a welcome. My name's Jennifer Benge and I am the marketing manager at Bedrock. Bedrock is an IT managed service provider and Microsoft Gold partner. This is changing slightly in the new year. We'll be changing to a kind of different Microsoft partner status, but this still means that most of the IT we implement is based on the Microsoft stack. This includes Microsoft 365, Teams, Azure, etc. We're also experts in secure, resilient networks and managed IT solutions where high performance is absolutely critical. So we work with organisations that have some of the highest security requirements in the UK. The most important thing we want to achieve, no matter what your organisation does, is to help you make the most of the applications, programmes, and everything that you're paying for, and make sure you're getting the best value for money out of those. We do this with the help of our 8 rocks. So these 8 rocks are skills, data, investment, backup, strategy, security, quality of service, and collaboration. The collaboration rock is the focus of today's webinar, as many people have teams and programs within Microsoft 365, but they aren't using them to their full capacity. So perhaps you're spending lots of money on all of your licenses each month, but not quite sure if you're getting the full value out of those licenses. So that's why we set up this webinar series, to make sure you can stay on top of all the new features that you think might benefit your organisation. So let's kick off then with one-click instant polls in Teams meetings. So this is a new polling option that is coming to Teams meetings. The instant poll is a set of predefined binary option pairs. So this includes options for yes or no, thumbs up or thumbs down, and even a heart or a broken heart emoji. These will appear in the polls side pane during the meeting. It's not like current polls where you can set those up in advance of the meeting or during the meeting with a specific question that you want to ask. This will be an option for more simple questions that you just need to get a quick consensus vote on. So to set one of these up, you just need to do a single click on the given option pairs. So you can see on the left-hand image in the red box there at the bottom, you just click on the option that you want to use for your quick poll. And you'll be able to launch that poll without a question title instantly. The attendees can then vote by clicking the option button, but they also don't need to then click a separate button to submit their answer. As soon as they click on their option that they want to choose, that will be their response and it will be submitted. So because there is no title question to this type of poll, the presenter will need to explain the question verbally so that the meeting participants understand what they're voting for. So it would be a simple case of saying, I don't know, a quick simple answer. that you quickly ask in your presentation, and then give the options yes or no, or thumbs up, thumbs down, just to get that consensus vote from your audience of what they're thinking at that point in time. It will also kind of give you an idea of who's awake in that meeting, because if they're not listening to the question, they won't know what they're voting for. So you could end up with some very random responses there. This is an example here of how that voting option works. So simple one click and your option is registered without having to click a submit button. After the presenter has launched the instant poll, meeting attendees will see the pop-up with the two big binary option icons, and they simply, as shown on screen, they vote by clicking the icon without this extra submit button. So again, the instant poll is primarily designed for in-meeting ad hoc scenarios where a vote needs to be taken instantaneously. Again, because there is no title on this poll. But participants can actually also vote in the chat, but it might not be as instantaneous. There might be a bit of a delay on the information that you're getting from that vote. So it is much better to just say the question verbally that you want them to answer, and they'll be able to vote on it quickly like that. After voting, the presenter and respondents can see the results animated right in front of them. The option size is displayed proportionally based on the number of votes. So the bigger the icon is, that means the more votes that option got. And the option icon dynamically changes as more votes come in. So this is something everyone will be able to see. The presenter or organizer who set the poll and all the respondents as well will be able to see these votes changing and the answers coming in dynamically. Unfortunately, this polling option isn't something that we can trial in a Microsoft Teams live event, which we're on now. Otherwise, we could have done a nice little poll here, but this is something that's just in normal Teams meetings at the moment. Next up, we've got changes to managing chat notifications. So there is a new feature coming soon to Teams chat, and this is the ability to toggle between read and unread chat message view. The unread toggle will help users to triage the activity effectively and stay on top of all of their chat messages, as well as reducing the baggage from always seeing a long list of items in that side panel of chat messages. So I'm sure we've all been there. Even if you've been in one particularly long meeting or something, you can come back and see hundreds of chat messages all in that side panel that you need to work through and deal with. So sometimes using that option to toggle between read and unread just helps you to focus on the ones that need to be dealt with straight away. Users can use the unread toggle by following these steps. So all you need to do is go to the activity feed on the left, turn on the unread toggle, and once it's turned on, only unread items will show up in that app. I was thinking this isn't quite available yet, it's coming any day now, but I was thinking you could use this combined with the mark as unread option, which I've put there in the extra frame in the image. So to mark as unread, all you need to do is hover over the message that you want to mark, wait for the box containing the emoji responses to pop up, and then next to the emojis, you'll see the 3-dot menu. If you click on that, you'll see an option there for mark as unread. So if there's something you've read earlier, but you still need to deal with it, you can mark as unread, use this new toggle feature, and it will appear almost like a kind of to-do item in your unread messages that you need to remind yourself to work through. So that is coming soon, that unread message toggle. Someone here has asked, are the polls anonymous? So going back to our previous item, yes, they are. They're just give you a quick overview of how the numbers are going. They won't kind of list out names who have voted for each option. So that new instant polling option is anonymous. It just gives you a quick consensus vote in terms of the numbers. Okay, next up, another update for your chat messages. This is a change to the search function in your chat messages. And this is one of those ones that has been quite frustrating in the past, where Microsoft gave the option to search for a particular chat message, but then when you clicked on that option, you would only see that message with that particular word in it that you'd searched for. You couldn't see it in context of the entire conversation, which was incredibly frustrating because, you know, when you've searched for a particular message, sometimes you want to read the entire conversation around it to know what needs to take place or what action you need to get done. So with this new update, you will be able to click on search message results to view the entire chat conversation history. So users who click on the chat message search result will now be presented with the entire message thread, regardless of the age of the message. So sometimes with the old way of searching for this message, it was very frustrating. You had to kind of find the date of when it happened, then scroll back manually to find that entire chat. This update creates efficiency as it allows the user to get the full context of the conversation around that message. So this should be with most people now. It should be available for you now. If it's not, it should be coming any day now. I think most people now have had this rolled out already. Next up, we've got the ability to accept or block a group chat. So with this new feature, you'll be able to accept or block a one-on-one chat, which has already been available previously, but also now they're extending this ability to block a group chat invitation. So this is an additional safety layer for Teams users who also who are getting these messages, these invitations to group chats that they're not expecting. They don't know who's inviting them to these group chats from unmanaged users. So that's someone outside of your organization who is sending invitations to these group chats. So if you find yourself being added to random group chats, you'll now be able to stop that happening. So yeah, an unmanaged user is someone external to your organization. You're still not going to be able to avoid internal group chats, even if you don't want to be a part of them. You are going to be added to them automatically. This isn't a way to avoid those group chats that you don't want to be a part of. But we are looking at another feature later on in this webinar to look at how you would delete chats from those group chats that you don't need to be a part of. So that's coming up. This option is just to block group chats from people external to your organization who you perhaps don't know and could be a potential security risk. Next up, we've got share control options for OneDrive and SharePoint. Microsoft are improving link settings by providing more helpful tools and definitions and clearer language for the sharing options in OneDrive and SharePoint. It's also just a much better looking interface, which will help you understand which link type and permissions best suit your needs prior to sharing a file or folder with your colleagues. So on the left is the current view that you get when you click to share a document, and on the right is the new updated view. This will pop up anywhere when you click the option to share, so whether you're doing that from OneDrive or SharePoint in the document, or from the individual document itself when you have it open in the app. Again, this update is due anytime now. Some of you may already have it. I think it's kind of rolling out quite slowly, so it's not available to everyone just yet. But it will help your whole organisation just to gain a better understanding of the security settings they potentially need to use around a document, the document control. So ideally, in a data protection world, you only want to share the information with as few people as actually need to use it. So this gives you a much easier and clearer way to understand who you're sharing that information with and the rules around that document security as well. Next up, we've got faster content sharing in Outlook. This one I really like the look of. I think a lot of the AI kind of updates that we've been getting, they're not all necessarily hugely useful to our day-to-day work at the moment. Whereas this one I can really see having a place in your daily work, in the ability to share documents much more easily. And it's just a job that you're already probably doing manually, that this AI function can now actually speed up and make your life a lot easier. So coming soon to Outlook, when you type the @ key, a menu will appear that allows you to search for, filter and insert people and files that exist across your Microsoft 365 account. Not only that, but it will suggest the most relevant files and people first. So you don't need to spend ages searching through files or even opening a separate window and dragging a file in that you want to share. It does this using a set of capabilities that Microsoft are calling Context IQ. This intelligently connects you with the information you need, where and when you need it. So by working in the background to connect your content across various Microsoft apps, the in-context suggestions, save you time and let you stay in the flow as you work. So you can see in the example here, just by clicking the app button, it's suggesting the person who's most relevant to this topic and the document that's most relevant to this topic as well, without you having to go off separately to search for what you want to include. So based on the context of what you've typed, Context IQ shows you the most relevant suggestion. So to begin with, it will start by surfacing relevant people and files. But over time, this will expand to include other useful content, such as suggesting adding rich content like maps, places on the web, membership numbers, phone numbers, addresses, Viva topics, message extensions, and more. So all of those things that are just annoying to remember and you've probably got saved in a notepad somewhere, like a membership number or an address that you need to include on an email. This new Context IQ function will start to remember things like that for you, so you can insert them in quickly and easily into your emails with the people that you need to share that information with. So again, I'm looking forward to this properly rolling out and having a go with it, and we'll see how we get on with it as we head into the new year, as we start using this functionality and Microsoft continue to add to it as well. The same experience will be rolling out in Word for the web as well. So Context IQ will be able to pull in relevant people and files directly into your documents. So you can avoid context switching or trying to find the correct links to files. Based on what you type in your document, the Context IQ will suggest the information that you need when and where you need it. So with these two updates coming at the end of 2022, I'm kind of predicting that as we head into 2023, we'll get more of these Context IQ type updates, where all of your information and data that you use all the way across Microsoft 365 will be much, much easier to kind of pull in across different documents, to share via email, probably via Teams as well. There'll be all kinds of options that will allow you to quickly and easily find the data you need, or have it suggested to you based on the context of what you're typing. And this will help you to just quickly get the information you need where you need it, rather than having to close different programs, switch between tabs, find what you need in order to add in that link. So yeah, looking forward to finding out more about this, using it myself and updating you further in the new year. Someone's asked, do you think this feature will be in Yammer too, using the @ to drag in documents? I'm not sure, Jamie. I have to say, I will admit, I haven't heard an update for Yammer at this stage, but I will definitely keep an eye out for you. And if we do receive any information about that update also coming to Yammer with Context IQ, I will certainly let you know within these webinars. Okay, going to our final update for this webinar, we are looking at the ability to delete Teams chats. So perhaps coming into the end of the year, you want to start the new year on a clean slate with your teams, tidy it up a bit, get everything out that you don't need anymore. This update will now allow you to do that. So you will soon be able to delete one-to-one chats, group chats, and meeting chats if you are a meeting participant in Microsoft Teams. This permanently deletes the chat for you only. So it's not as if you're going to delete massive information for everyone that someone else needs. This is just a case of on your app interface, you won't see that chat anymore. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist anymore. So that's an important clarification to make. It's just if you think that chat no longer benefits you and you just want to tidy it out the way, you can do that, but it's not going to get rid of all of that information for everyone else. Other people in the chat and their conversation history are not impacted. So you can go ahead, delete as much as you want if you don't need it anymore, but it's up to everyone to do that individually. You're not deleting it on behalf of everyone else in that chat. This update is due sort of mid-December, they're saying. So again, anytime now. Always seems to be the case. We're waiting for these things just to roll out as we're doing these webinars. But we'll be keeping an eye out for that and letting you know as soon as that is live as well. Also with this option for deleting Teams chats, it is also possible if for admins to turn off this functionality. So if you're an admin or a manager in this webinar thinking, actually, I don't want my staff to be able to delete that chat history just in case there is something they might need in it in the future, you can turn off this capability in the admin panel in Microsoft 365. So from the admin portal, under messaging policies, there's a toggle there that turns off and on the ability to delete Teams chats. So if users in the tenant, if you turn off that feature, turn off the ability to delete Teams chats, the users in that tenant will no longer be able to see that delete option. It just removes that from them altogether. So there's an option if you want to use it as a user to tidy up for your teams, go ahead and use it. But if you are an administrator who's thinking, I don't want my colleagues to be able to do that, that is an option as well. Christopher asks, can you delete an individual message in the chat rather than the whole chat? Yes, you can do that. That is, again, in the, if you hover over a message and go, so the emoji menu appears, it's an option within that menu to the side there. So you can open that there. Let's see, we've got a couple of other messages coming in. That faster content sharing looks amazing. I agree, Ben. I agree. I'm looking forward to it too. I assume linking a recent document in an Outlook email will automatically set up a OneDrive sharing link. Yeah, so it'll be shared in the same way that you always share your documents. So if you're using the document sharing button at the top of the app or from SharePoint or OneDrive themselves, it'll be just using that same functionality there. It's not a completely new functionality. It's just something that allows you to draw in the sharing link much quicker and easier than you have been able to do previously. Someone asks, can you undelete these Teams chats? Do you know what? I'm not sure yet. There hasn't been an update on that as far as I'm aware. My workaround for that would be to ask someone who's still in that chat to re-add you. I would have thought that would still work. But I will look into that for you, Anonymous, and I will find out for you and give an update at the next webinar. Okay, so looking at the security review workshop finally. Bedrock's security review workshop is a one-day interactive workshop where you'll work with one of our Bedrock technical team to analyse the security features that you already have in place and find any gaps or holes where attackers could still find a way in. So in much the same way as we're doing these webinars to make sure that you're using the functionality of all of your Microsoft 365 apps properly, this workshop will allow you to work with one of our technical experts to make sure that all your security is all lined up as well and you're using all of that functionality correctly. So during the course of the workshop, you will discover where you could be duplicating investment into cybersecurity tools that are doing the same job, potentially save a bit of money by cancelling one that you don't need. That's always a good thing to find out. You can check that you're meeting requirements for your cyber insurance policy. Many of them won't pay out unless you monitor and manage your cybersecurity properly. And you can also find out where the cracks are in your technology environment that leave you open to attack. We've had a really good response to this so far, with people already kind of in early stages of getting these set up. And we've got a limited number of spaces opening for this workshop over the coming months. So if you are interested, please do feel free to respond to the email that I'll send out this afternoon, or we'll also be sending you extra information coming up in the new year. So I just wanted to let you know about that workshop and the availability. Okay, we've got a bit of time for some Q&A now, so I can see there's some questions coming in. Let's start working our way through those. And if you've got any other questions you'd like to ask, please do feel free to add those in or respond to an email later today, and we'll be happy to follow up with you. Any updates on scheduled send? So scheduled send, I think, was last month, wasn't it? We covered a quick update about scheduled send coming soon. Again, it's one of those, they're still saying it is rolling out, it's coming soon, but I checked this morning and I don't have it available at the moment still. So I think if you're one of the lucky ones, you may already have scheduled send. You can find out by when you type a message into your Teams chat, there should be an extra little icon that appears next to the normal send button that will then allow you to give a pop-up and choose what time you would like that chat message to send. But like I say, I actually checked that this morning myself and I don't have it. Keep an eye out for that coming soon, or well done to you if you've already got it available to your organisation. Oh, someone's had a go already at the chat deletion. That's cool. it does say that deleting the whole chat will delete it permanently for me. Okay, good to know. We will perhaps do some testing for that. I will get one of our admins to help me test out that functionality and see if they can help us restore a chat after it's been deleted. That'll be a good little test, and I will let you know the results of that test in the next year's webinar. Right. If anyone does have any further questions around anything we've covered today or any other aspect of your IT or IT security, please do feel free to get in touch just by replying to the email that I'll be sending later today with the recording, and I'll be happy to help myself, or perhaps put you in touch with one of our specialists if it's something that needs a bit more technical expertise. So let's just give you an update now on the next webinar in this series, which will be in the new year. So the next webinar will be on the 12th of January 2023, and you can register for your place now on the Bedrock website. That's in the events page on the website, or Cara has kindly just added an announcement in the Q&A box as well that has the sign up form there. So you can sign up straight away just by following that link that Cara's put in the chat box. And you'll be able to sign up directly then. So all that's left for me to say is thank you for a brilliant year of webinars. It's great that we've got such a little community now coming every month and joining us, and good to see so many new faces as well. And I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas, and I hope to see you again in the new year. Thank you very much for joining us.